Did you rub my lamp?
Thousand generations living in now.
Here we go.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of FilmSpeak Live. I am, of course, Griffin Schiller, your host, as always. And here at FilmSpeak, of course, film is our second language. So if you can relate to that and love talking about movies, you're definitely in the right place. Consider hitting that subscribe button if you aren't subscribed already. Basically, this is an impromptu live Q&A. I figured, we got a little bit of time. It's a nice Saturday afternoon here on the West Coast. For all you East Coast folks, you're probably settling in for, a nice early evening and whatnot. And you know what? We're just going to chat some movies, have fun, take your live questions, because I always love doing these and I love interacting with you all. Of course, I don't do these alone. I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime, Mr. Tyler Tompkins. Tyler, say hello to everyone.
Hello, it's good to be back, man.
Yeah,
Excited
I know.
to be here on Saturday night, man.
I know,
Q&A.
Saturday night, man. Well, here's the fun thing, because later on, you and I are gonna meet up, and we're gonna go see something really cool that actually you have already seen. Basically, if you live on the West Coast, there is this thing called the Bioluminescence, and it's basically like a what do you call it? Like it's like
an algae or like a plankton or something like that.
Yeah, it's like an algae or plankton or like a jellyfish or something. It's like
I don't know the science behind it.
Yeah, it's like a herd of jellyfish or something that every so often or whatever they come out and they if you go late at night, it actually like makes the ocean glow. It's really cool. I've never seen anything like it, and so tonight we're gonna go take a look at it down at Venice Beach. So that should be a lot of fun. I've never experienced something like that before, but you've already gone. You actually said it was great. Yeah,
it's really cool. Like I said, I don't understand the science behind it, but just seeing it do that over and over again is really, really neat. And since it's a kind of a once in a lifetime type of deal, those are always fun.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I always love those. It's just like it's kind of like when the solar eclipse happened.
Yeah, I know. Or like whenever the moon does something like every week, they're like, "Go look at the moon." Everyone's like, "Go look at the moon outside."
Yeah, no, it's always fun stuff. But listen, guys, we're not here to talk about algae or jellyfish. We're here to talk about movies and take your live questions. I did kind of tease in the stream that we're gonna have a third guest joining us a little bit into this. You all probably know who it is, but when he gets online and joins the stream, then we'll reveal it. But I think you all are gonna enjoy that one. So, is there anything that you've been watching lately that you feel like talking about?
Let me think. I've been watching a lot.
Yeah.
In terms of TV, I recently started Defending Jacob. It's really good.
Yeah, that's been a good one. I don't know how many of you guys are watching that on Apple TV Plus, but it's really good. I know it got a lot of mixed reviews right out the gate, like with every Apple TV Plus show. But I think this is one of their better programs. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
No, I agree. So far, it is. Yeah. And then, like in terms of movies, I've been watching a lot. I would say like the newest one I watched, Possessor, was really good. That was one of the Sundance movies that Brandon Cronenberg directed with Christopher Abbott. Really, really cool sci-fi movie.
Yeah, I've been wanting to check that one out. It's been on my radar. I just can't seem to find it. I don't know how you found it, but
might be online. It might be online.
You've got your ways.
Yeah, I got my ways. And then I recently rewatched Killing of a Sacred Deer last night.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, that's an excellent one. I don't know how many of you guys have seen Killing of a Sacred Deer, but it's on Netflix and it's amazing. But anyways, guys, let us know what you're all watching right now in the chat. We'll try and talk about it if we get to it. So let's go in here and see how's it going, or see what people are saying. Dennis S is in here. Good to see you, man. Vibrant Achromatic asks, how did you like Parasite? I think we both quite enjoyed it. I don't know if I think it was definitely worthy of a Best Picture win. It's one of the more unique Best Picture wins of all time, and obviously it's like really important because it's the first foreign language film to win Best Picture as well. And I think it's brilliant. Bong Joon-ho does something that shouldn't be possible. He balances tone in such a in such an incredible way that I've never seen done before. And so it's a riveting movie. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Parasite?
No, yeah, I really like it. It wasn't my choice to win all the big awards, but I mean, it's not like I'm mad that it won, you know? So, I mean, I can't complain.
Yeah, for sure. But it's definitely a great film. Dennis S. Damn, it's 2 a.m. here, dude. I'm sorry, man. I know I always do these late streams. I gotta kind of maybe next weekend or something. We'll do one at 12 p.m. PT. Give you a little bit of extra wiggle room there. But glad you're joining in regardless.
Yeah.
Javier Gamino asks, "What is your take on Alien 3 and Alien 4?" I'll let you take that one first.
Alien 4. Which one's Alien 4?
I think it's Alien Resurrection.
Yeah, that's right. I've actually never seen Alien 4, and I've only seen part of 3, so I really can't answer that question.
Yeah, I think
I've heard they're bad, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think 3 is terrible, and Resurrection somehow is even worse. To me, the Alien franchise is literally just Alien and Aliens, and then the prequels, Prometheus and Alien Covenant. So
yeah, Prometheus, I think, is my favorite, dude, out of them all.
Out of all of them,
it might be. Yeah, I really like that movie. Yeah.
Damn, even more so than Alien. Well, here's the real question: between Alien and Aliens, what is your favorite? Because that's the one where people are like, they're either in one camp or the other.
I don't know. I used to be like Team Alien, but I recently rewatched that. When Sean was here, we went and saw it in the theater. It's still, I mean, it's a great movie, but it's a little slow. I think. At least when I watched it again, I was like, So I'd probably go with Aliens, I guess. But they're both really good. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Well, first of all, I love Bill Paxton in Aliens. Like,
I do too.
He's like, dude is iconic. And it's so weird because when you look at Alien and then you see what it turns into in Aliens, it's like a completely different franchise, but it works in a weird way. It's kind of what Cameron did with the Terminator movies. But I think for me, I've just always loved Ridley's take on that property. I mean, it was his idea and so forth. So, and I think he just gets it. I enjoy how philosophical the prequels are. So for me, between Alien and Aliens, I'm definitely more of an Alien fan, but I love James Cameron's Aliens. It's a great film. All right, let's see, going in here in the chat. All right, Tony Movie Chappie D9 Neil Blomkamp #1 fan, of course, is in here. Of course, it's not a live stream without him. Thank you for joining, man. He says, "Hey, Griffin and Tyler, just wanted to say that last night I watched McGee's 2000 Charlie's Angels movie, one of my favorite guilty pleasures. It's a fun movie. What is your take on Charlie's Angels? McGee's Charlie's Angels.
I haven't seen McGee's his Charlie's Angels movies in a long time, but when I was a kid, I liked Full Throttle more just because Shia LaBeouf was in it. I liked him a lot. He's not he didn't have a major part in it or anything, but I always gravitated toward that one more. But they were fun when I watched them back in the day. I'm sure they're both better than Elizabeth Banks movie, the most recent one. I didn't see it.
I think the first one is better than the Elizabeth Banks movie, but Full Throttle's pretty bad.
I can't remember.
I don't know, man. It's just kind of a shame. It's such a weird property because I just think the whole concept of it is really dated, and so none of the films really work for me, unfortunately. So I don't know, not a big fan. But listen, hey, if you love it, that's cool, man. Like I'm glad you can find enjoyment out of it. I know there's people out there who enjoy it. So glad you're one of them. This will be a fun one. Certain Vids asks, what was your favorite Disney Channel sitcom?
Easy.
Yeah. What is it?
Even Stevens. That's the reason why I got Disney Plus. It's easy. What about you?
Yeah, I think for me, I think it probably would be Even Stevens. I was more of a Nickelodeon sitcom guy than I was a Disney sitcom guy. Yeah. I love Drake and Josh. I love Zoe 101. I love Ned's Declassified. I loved iCarly for a little bit, even though I feel like
Drake and Josh was probably the best, out of everything.
Drake and Josh, and I just rewatched a couple episodes. It still holds up. Drake and Josh is one of those sitcoms that can compete with real sitcoms. You know,
yeah,
it's just that. it's just that well written, and the performances and the characters are just so well realized. So I love Drake and Josh. That's probably my favorite like kids
Me too.
sitcom. There were a few more on Nickelodeon. I'm trying to remember
the Amanda Show and all that. You remember those two?
Yeah, it was like
Keenan
SNL
and
for
Kel
kids.
was like,
yeah.
We're kind of at the end of that, but that I watched that a little bit.
Yeah,
those were good, man.
No, it was all good. And I mean, like the Amanda Show is what spun off Drake and Josh, so it's like,
oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. NBR is in here. He says, I just watched the Before trilogy for the first time. It was amazing. I really like the Before trilogy, so I agree with you. It is amazing, but Tyler's Mr. Contrarian over here.
I don't hate them, but I think they're really overrated. Like, and a lot of people say those are like Linklater's his best movies, but I highly disagree with that. They're not bad. They're just, I don't really get the hype. I don't know.
Fair enough. Woo.
Yeah,
dripping a little bit of my water here. Here's actually a good topical question. So Marvel guy says, did you hear about Boba Fett in Mandalorian season 2? I did. I'm actually pretty excited. Listen, I love Tamora Morrison. I loved his portrayal of Jango Fett in the prequels. And I obviously it's going to be great to see him back in a suit, even if it's not Jango. It'll be cool to see how they kind of handle, the legacy story of Boba Fett flying out of the Sarlacc pit. I mean, that's been something that's been in Star Wars, just like history for years. And I'm glad that they're going to take that and incorporate it into the season. I don't think it's going to be a big part of the season. It's probably just going to be like an episode or two that he shows up for. It's going to be very minimal. Maybe he makes other appearances down the road, but I'm not expecting too much from Boba Fett in here. I'm just more excited to see Tamora Morrison back because he's a great actor. And I think with better material, it'll be great to see him with, tackle this sort of character. I will say this before I pass it to you, Tyler. Do not be surprised if they also get him to play Captain Rex, because again, the clones are made in the image of Jango, and we know that Rex survives Return of the Jedi, and Mandalorian takes place in between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. So, and if Ahsoka is showing up in here, I'm betting money that Tamora Morrison's also going to be playing an older Captain Rex as well, which that's truthfully what I'm more excited for than I am seeing him as Boba Fett. But Tyler, do you have any strong opinions on this one?
Sadly, I don't really know too much about any of this news, but I saw a lot of people freaking out about it on Twitter. I guess it's good. I thought The Mandalorian was pretty average until the very last episode. I thought the last episode was really great.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And it was enough for me to be like, okay, I'll give season 2 a shot for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm more excited about like the news, like the directors, like Rodriguez is doing an episode.
Yes.
There was someone else too. I can't remember who it was.
Reed.
Peyton Reed. That's good. And then
so let me ask you this: are you excited about Peyton Reed doing an episode? Because to me, that was probably my least favorite announcement to have come out about season 2, just because I think that's just Disney going back to like their well of recycled directors.
No, yeah, I agree. It is. I think I was just more excited because I know who he is. Whereas the first season was primarily directed by, well, it was a lot of different directors, really.
Yeah, it was a lot of different ones. Yeah,
Bryce Dallas Howard did one, which was
she
good.
did one. Deborah Chow.
Did Filoni do any?
Filoni did like 2 or 3, and they were like the worst ones. It was like episode 1 and episode 5.
Yeah,
which is disappointing because I actually think he's the one who understands like Star Wars the most right now, and I want him to have as much creative control as possible. He's just got to up his like live action filmmaking experience. So.
No, I agree. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to be very, very hesitant just because, like I said, the first season I thought it was pretty meh overall. But
no, and I think that's fair because you and I think we watched a lot.
We both
of it together.
agreed. Yeah,
and
we're like, what is this?
I'm like, what's going on here? I
wish the episodes were longer too.
Yeah, I agree. Same. That was the big thing. I was expecting like HBO I use Game of Thrones with quotation marks.
No, I agree. I know what you mean. Yeah.
HBO Game of Thrones quality television.
Each streaming service has like their big thing to like attract
exactly.
people. This was supposed to be that,
Yeah, and it didn't quite do it for me. And what we got was more along the lines of like season 1 of Rebels or season 1 of the Clone Wars, which those are shows that after their first season, they really come into their own. So if that follows the trajectory of those shows, we're going to be in for something like excellent here. So I'm definitely all for it. I see we got a lot more people joining in the chat, guys. If you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like and then send in your questions. We'll try and answer as many as possible. If you want to make sure your question gets answered, you can send in the super chat. It is not required, but we do appreciate it. So let's go back here and see where we got. Where are we? A lot of people saying that they're loving Defending Jacob. Here's certain vids here saying loving Defending Jacob, though the last episode was kind of weak. How do you feel about that?
Haven't seen it yet. It just came out yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Crap.
There's one. Yeah, I know, it's like, damn it. Here's one that I want to answer. Before I answer this, I do want to go ahead and take some people's responses to the Mandalorian stuff. Zach Pope is in here. Great to see you, man. He says, been thinking we will see Rex as well. Boba Fett wise, I don't think he takes the mask off for the character, and he's more like an intro. If people like it a lot, they'll adapt that movie into a show. I think that's possible. Yeah, because they've been, talking forever about making a Boba Fett movie. I just don't. I feel like The Mandalorian is ultimately what that project has kind of turned into. Because the Boba Fett movie is sort of like the criminal underworld show and like a Western kind of like meshed into like one thing. And I feel like they just kind of took The Mandalorian and they were like, well, why don't we kind of make it this? And then, we can work Boba Fett into here. But I think you do make a good point because they've been talking about doing spin-offs off of characters in The Mandalorian. And if Boba Fett is well received, which I'm sure he will be, I could see them doing like a little Boba Fett show down the road. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's, like I said, I don't really know too much about like Star Wars stuff unless we're talking about the main, like the saga, I guess, or Solo. But, yeah. Everyone has always been wanting something to do with Boba Fett, so I think we're eventually probably going to get something with that character because everyone just loves him so much. I don't know, but that would be cool, I guess, because he must be a cool character.
Yeah, and I think like there's because he's almost like a blank slate. There's so much room to explore the character and everything. Especially him dealing with the fact that he almost died. I think there's some interesting PTSD stuff that you can do there, similar to like what Iron Man 3 did. So. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's go back here to the chat. There was a really great question. Here, Dennis asks, how has the whole C situation been affecting your channel? I can imagine YouTube content creators getting more views, subs, and all that during these times. Well, it's actually a little not surprising, but because of the situation and because there's so many people out there who started making content who really want to like get into this thing, I think there's actually been an overflow of content, and so it almost works against you, and so you have to work twice as hard to stand out. Now, the plus side is I can do a thing like this. I can do a last minute live Q&A, and a lot of you will tune in for it because like most people are just kind of like hanging around and stuff like that. So content like this is good, but I mean, I feel like I've noticed a dip in views, mostly in terms of just my channel when it comes to the analytics. Subs have actually been pretty consistent, surprisingly. So thank you all for continuing to support in that regard. But yeah, and I've noticed it's not just YouTube; it's really content creators across the board. Because my girlfriend is an artist and she has an art Instagram, and some of her posts that would normally do well aren't doing as well as they usually do. And the thing we keep going back to is like, there's just so many people posting and creating content that normally haven't been, and so it's like you got to work twice as hard, and it's it's motivation, but it can also be stressful as well. And it is not. Listen, I've talked to other YouTubers and whatnot that have said similar things, and I feel like it's there's ups and downs to this whole situation we're in. But I don't know, Tyler, if you have anything to add on that in general.
No, I mean, I feel like most of my friends are YouTubers. A lot of them are, And just, it sucks because there's not a lot of new movies to review. There are some, but not a lot. Definitely not as many as usual. But I guess, too, there are pros where, more people will be watching YouTube, so that's good. But like you said, more people are starting YouTube and you're competing with a lot more people. So a lot of pros and cons. But thankfully, I don't think it's as bad as we initially thought it would be. Because remember, everyone kind of freaked out about it at first. But
Yeah, no, for sure. Guys, we are going to continue this conversation, but first of all, we have to add our third guest, and guess who it is, everyone? It's Mr. Chris from 3C Films. There he is.
Hey, can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine, man. Great to have you in here.
Nice. Thank you for inviting me, Tyler. I was at the dog park going out and about like you shouldn't be, but in Texas, we just don't seem to care. I also got a haircut finally, first time in 2 months, so I'm just doing all sorts of bad. I know.
Yeah, you guys have you guys lifted the restrictions a little bit, didn't you?
Yes, we did. Whether that's good or not, don't cancel me, guys. Okay, I barely got in with some clout. So, other than that, I know Griff. I have not met Tyler yet. Tyler, I just want to say, huge fan of your channel when you were doing your thing. I remember watching your reviews and your Blu-ray updates. I envied all the views you were getting at that time because I was way smaller than you. I'm happy to finally talk to you, Tyler.
No, dude, yeah, you too. I remember hearing about you. I think we talked a few times too whenever like we were first starting, and like out of nowhere you just kind of blew up. I was like, oh my gosh.
I know.
That's awesome, dude.
I was really lucky.
It's actually funny. I totally forgot that you guys have never met before. It's like super funny because we're all in the same space. We all have like similar.
Well, yeah, I feel like I know him so well just because, like you said, so many people. Like we all know each other, so I hear about you all the time. I'm like, oh yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure. We were just kind of talking about, and actually this might be a good question for you. We were just talking about, what the quarantine and the lockdown situation, how that's kind of affected YouTube channels. Have you noticed more views, more subs, or has there kind of been a dip? And I was just saying, I've noticed a little bit of a dip because it's almost like there's an oversaturation of content.
Yeah. I thought, when the quarantine and everyone being stuck at home, I was like, that's it. This is where we shine. They have nothing but us to watch. And surprisingly, no one was tuning in. I don't know if people were more concerned with keeping up with the corona news or what might have been going on, but I saw a dip and I started panicking because as you see with the movie news, it's starting to pick up. But with movie news is what I do on my channel. It was not happening every day like it used to. And I was really scared. And I dipped my toes into video game content. It kind of embarrassing, but I'm trying different things out here.
Yeah.
So it's made us creative, but it's also, I think, brought us together because now we all have a common thing wrong,
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that's a great way of putting it. All right, let's get back to some more of these questions. Let's see. Okay, here's a good one. What is your favorite movie that is over 3 hours long, not including Endgame?
Oh, jeez. Okay, I think I got it then.
All right, what do you got?
Oh, Titanic.
Oh,
me too. That's mine too.
Are you guys on the same page? Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Titanic's like a masterpiece.
Any particular reason why?
Well, Leo, and every time it's re-released in theaters, I have to go see it. And
I'm the same way. Every time. Like if I saw it in 3D, I saw it in Dolby. Like every time, dude.
Every time. I don't know what it is. It's just that's the only time I rewatch it actually. But I mean that makes it worth it for me.
Yeah, listen, I have my issues with Titanic is a weird film because it's like I've never been a big fan of it. Weirdly enough, I've always preferred Pearl Harbor, which is a ripoff of Titanic, and I can't tell you why. It's not a good movie, but I've always preferred it. But I don't know, man. It's just it's something I keep like every time it's on, I'm like, well, maybe I'll give it another shot. It's like I really want to like Titanic, but I never do. It's a weird relationship with it. Anyways, in terms of what my favorite 3 hour long movie, I mean, it's like Lord. Oh, wait, no. I take that back. I was going to say Lord of the Rings. Peter Jackson's King Kong.
That's my number two. That's my number two.
Yeah. Peter Jackson's. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure many of you, I don't know if I've really brought it up that much on the channel, but Peter Jackson's King Kong is one of my favorite films of all time. So, I think that movie's the best movie.
It's Peter Jackson's best movie.
That's good. So you don't agree with the sentiments that like you can skip the first hour and just start when they're on the boat?
No, I don't.
No.
I think it's
perfect
key.
3-act. Like the first act is all on land. Second act is the island or whatever. Third act, back to New York. So I just love it. I think it's awesome. It's structure and everything.
The thing I love about the first act is that it introduces you to kind of like the desperation of the world of what's going on during the Great Depression and how it's affected these people and why they're in the situation that they're in. So while it might seem a little like long-winded, I think when it comes down to it, it is necessary, especially in kind of establishing the character of establishing Jack Black's character. I think it's crucial in doing that because you just immediately see that he's a very sketchy guy who's at his wit's end and just wants money. So
did y'all see that when it came out in theaters?
Yeah,
I didn't.
Yeah.
I had to see it at home.
Really? I remember when I saw it at the theater, I think it was 10. Like the scene when they get to the island and see the islanders for the first time, that was terrifying. Like that freaked me out when I saw it. I was like, oh shoot. It's a pretty scary
dude, that was one of the that scarred me for life. It took me a while before I could go back to that movie just because that was really scary.
Yeah, dude, man, that's a great. I want to rewatch that movie, man.
Yeah, for sure. We got one here from Zach who says favorite Cartoon Network or Boomerang shows like Dexter's Laboratory, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Codename Kids Next Door, etc. This is a great question.
Yeah,
because I love these shows. I don't know. Did you guys grow up watching them?
All three of those, I do love those shows. In fact, I just had bought myself a Dexter's Laboratory Funko Pop online.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it. I'm one of those who waits when they're coming out.
Man.
I hate paying scalping prices.
It's annoying. Yeah, that was I wanted that one so bad. That one and Johnny Bravo, man.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Killed me.
Courage the Cowardly Dog, though. I think there's going to be a comeback somehow for that. I just feel it. That's that type of show that just made people weird, and so it's going to come back somehow, I feel.
I mean, that was a pretty intense show for a kid, you know? It's dark, and it really went places. It was scary. But yeah, I don't know, Tyler. What's your favorite Cartoon Network show?
For me, it was weird. I'm not really into anime, but Cartoon Network had a show called Code Lyoko that my friend turned me on to.
Yes,
and, dude, that's like that was one of the first shows I was ever obsessed with as a kid. Like I remember coming home from school, like being so happy to watch that. Like it was so good.
Yeah, Code Lyoko.
Kind of a low key show, but I liked it a lot.
Wow.
Yeah,
and Totally Spies. That was all. I mean,
Totally Spies, great.
I watched it.
Yeah, I love Totally Spies.
Yeah,
man. Now you're making me think of all the good ones. No, I definitely was a big Dexter's Laboratory fan. Love the Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo, Ed, and Eddie. Yeah, those are all good. If you guys are watching this, let us know what your favorite Cartoon Network show was growing up, because there were so many of them. I mean, literally, Zach just mentioned all the good ones. So there's that. Okay, let's go to Kieran Langer. So you missed this a little bit, Chris, but we were talking about.
Oh no, I was watching the stream since it started on my way rushing home and everything. So I'm caught up. You guys are gonna go catch jellyfish later, I think. Or something
yes, we're gonna go catch jellyfish. Yes, we're gonna go jellyfishing. Kieran Langer says, "I have watched all of Drake and Josh within a month recently with my brother, and you're so right about it. How it can compete with other shows. One of the few sitcoms that's funny and consistent." Yeah, excellent show. Have you guys like revisited it recently?
Well, it's funny you mentioned it because yesterday when I was with friends, one of them they shared Disney Plus accounts, and so the other one said, "I saw you were watching Sunday with a Chance," and then I verbally said, "How do you do that? How do you watch a show that is just old and cringy with these like outdated jokes?" But when y'all were talking about Drake and Josh, I'm like, that's one of the shows I probably could revisit without thinking to myself, this is dated badly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Tyler, how about you?
Yeah, my senior year of college, back in 2018, I rewatched the whole series, and I was shocked at how well it held up. I was like, this is like great. Like it's still really funny. But like Chris was saying, like a majority of those shows, usually they don't hold up, and you just kind of say you like it because you watched it as a kid. But for me, Drake and Josh, like it's still hilarious.
It's still funny. So great. I always wish there's more seasons, you know, even though there's like 4.
There's really not that many. Yeah.
And I can't believe Josh Peck made more of a career than Drake Bell. I don't.
Dude, what in the world? Like, how did that? Josh Peck is really just like, I don't know. Do you guys listen to his podcast at all?
No.
I watch his YouTube channel sometimes.
Sometimes, I watch the YouTube channel.
He's actually got a really good interview podcast called Curious with Josh Peck. I mean, super great, super professional, very, you know, if you love his personality and whatnot, like he's very just like real and legit there. So, it's a great one. So if you guys are looking for podcast recommendations, there you go. Jaron Talk Movies is in here. Good to see you, man. He says, what's up, Tyler? Not sure if you have a Funko collection, but if so, this is for both of you. What is your favorite Funko Pop you own? So I don't actually have any of my Funkos behind me right now, just given where I'm currently at. But is that your favorite one, the Hercules?
Yeah, Hercules on Pegasus, and I'm so excited for that live action movie.
Yeah, I was about to ask, are you on board for that?
Oh yeah, really. I'm especially after hearing that they clarified that it won't be a literal translation, that they're gonna take just elements and make something new. I think that's great.
Yeah, no, for sure. Tyler, I actually don't know if I got your opinion on the Hercules live action. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I think we briefly touched on it the other week. I wasn't like too thrilled about it, just because, I haven't really been the biggest fan of these Disney adaptations. They've been really they haven't really taken too many risks for most of them. Like some of them are okay, but I hope it's good. Like I felt the same about Robin Hood. Like I thought. I mean, I don't know. I wish it would do other, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I think we were saying, and like
that's the one, man.
Ones,
Yeah. I'm waiting for Hunchback. I'm waiting for Atlantis and Treasure Planet. Those three. Give me live action remakes of those any day of the week. But yeah. So I think yours is the Hercules one. Tyler, you don't own any Funkos.
No, I can't get into it, man. Because I'm gonna get addicted. I can't.
You don't.
Yeah. It's a good thing. I've actually dialed back quite a bit.
I like the La La Land ones. Those I almost did buy the La La Land ones. Those are cool.
That's the thing. Those people who say they hate Funko Pops, but I guarantee you there is a set or at least one you just love. And
I don't hate them at all. I know I'll get addicted. I just can't. There's no room. I can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I've got boxes full of them, man. They're like overflowing in my apartment. It's bad. I think my favorite one that I own is is Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. And that's been my favorite basically ever since I got it. It's either that or Robb Stark from Game of Thrones. Those two are really, really good. Also very rare. So I'm happy that I have them. Got a super chat in here, so we're gonna address that. Thank you so much. Geared towards Sync. Thank you so much for putting that in here. Really appreciate that. See if we can put this up on the go down here. It's always weird doing this. Okay, there we go. 3C. Do you think that the lead from Ready or Not should be in Screen 5? Big fan, by the way. All right, I'll let you take this, Chris, right. Mr. Horror Master.
First, I gotta say, since it was directed to me, I expect commission off that super chat.
Just take it. Just take all $5.
No. Yeah, I mean, obviously, when they were hired, that team, you obviously notice directors when they move to projects, they bring actors or actresses they like. So I think she would be great, and she fits the description of just a woman coming back to her hometown. I'd totally be up for her. I remember I had the first bad intentions with that actress when I first saw Ready or Not. I thought she was a Margot Robbie ripoff just because she looks just like her. But seeing the movie, she stole that picture. So I would love it for her to be the main lead.
Yeah, Tyler, what do you think about this?
No, I agree, and I felt the same way about Ready or Not. I didn't really know too much about Samara Weaving before, but Griffin and I saw that movie. I was like, what is this? Like Margot Robbie ripoff. This is not going to be that good, but she was incredible. Yeah. Like, I haven't watched Hollywood yet, but I only want to watch Hollywood because she's in it on Netflix. But that'd be cool if she was in Scream 5. That would be cool.
Yeah, I'd be down to see it. I'm getting more and more optimistic about Scream 5 because I remember when the project was first announced, I was kind of like, all right, you got the right guys for it, but is this going to work without Wes Craven? And I'm glad to see because the news came out that Neve Campbell, she felt the same way. Yeah, she was approached, and then they wrote her a nice letter, reassuring her it's going to be like a tribute to him. So understanding that that's where they're coming from, I'm way more on board than I was initially. And these guys, I think, have the right tone to do a successful Scream 5, whether or not it's a reboot or kind of like a sequel or a little bit of both. Yeah. Samara Weaving would be great to see in that film. Obviously, I'd love to see her and Neve Campbell on screen together. I think that'd be really cool, kind of like a modern, up and coming Scream Queen mixed with one of the OGs. So like, yeah, I'm totally for that. But yeah, thank you for the super chat, man. Really appreciate that. Just a quick update, guys. If you do want your question answered immediately, the super chat is always available to you. Not a requirement, but we do really appreciate that. So let me go back up here, try and get to some of these questions that we glossed over a little bit. Okay, here's one from Javier Gamino. He asks, do you think that the Clone Wars creators should be involved with more Star Wars movies and TV? So he's referring to Dave Filoni, obviously, and yes, 100%. I think Dave Filoni should be the person making the creative decisions over at Lucasfilm right now. He's proven time and time again that he just gets Star Wars. He gets the material. And if the final season of Clone Wars is any indication, this man knows how to make some epic spectacle in the universe and just create really fulfilling arcs that come to a nice conclusion. So yeah, he should be allowed to do whatever he wants from now on. I don't know, what do you guys think?
It would be hard for me to answer just because I'm not all into the world of Star Wars and I've never seen Clone Wars, but I'm the type of guy who just sees the mainstream stuff, the big movies, and then the Mandalorian. Outside of that, I just didn't grow up with Star Wars, so I wouldn't know, but I definitely take your word for it if that's how you feel, because I see the fan base so divided, and it's one of those subjects I hate to talk about on my channel just because it brings in the wrong crowd, which sucks, because that was once such a passionate fan base, and it's just turned into what it is now. But well, whatever you think would be best for it, I would agree with you. Tyler?
Yeah,
kind of the same thing. I haven't really watched the animated stuff. I've only seen like the saga, like I was saying earlier. But I would like, it's kind of a weird oddball choice, but like in terms of writing the Star Wars movies, I would like it if they would give Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio, who wrote Pirates of the Caribbean, a stab at it. Like, I would be curious to see what their take on a Star Wars movie would
that's
be.
An inspired choice. Yeah, I like that.
That'd be
I'm all
cool.
in on that, man. You got me excited. Well, actually, speaking of pirates, what do you guys think of Karen Gillan, possibly doing a reboot for Pirates?
Man, why did you bring me on? You're exposing me here. I've never seen any Pirates movies, guys. I'm sorry.
Really?
I again, it was a thing I missed. Pirates didn't interested me, but I mean, now I have the pleasure of sitting through all those movies. I'd be totally up for it. I mean, it makes no difference to me. I know there's people get upset when they change the character to a female, but I'm up for it. Karen Gillian's awesome.
Yeah, I think she's amazing.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of the series, and I'm actually going through them again pretty slowly. And I'm not too thrilled about it. Like, I like Karen a lot, but Johnny Depp to me is that entire franchise, and without him, I'm just like, why even try? I don't think the movie's going to do good without him. I really don't.
Interesting. See, I think there's a lot of people who definitely feel the same way that you do, but I think one of the problems with the latter films is like, and even with the first two sequels to an extent, he became more of a caricature of what he used to be with each entry. He just became a bumbling buffoon, where it was like, he was never really like that in the first movie. He was cunning. He was a little out there. He was quirky. He was drunk 90% of the time, but like, there was wit to him, and he was like a very smartly written character, which is why Johnny Depp got an Oscar nomination, obviously, for that first film. Deservedly so, I would say. So, yeah, I get where you're coming from, because it's like a lot of people love Pirates for Jack Sparrow, but I think almost wiping the slate clean, and starting fresh and just not having the baggage of that original trilogy, or like the two lackluster films that followed, is probably the right move. Keep that trilogy as just like a great, solo entity with those other two movies as like side adventures, and then just like, maybe Johnny Depp can make an appearance later down the road in this franchise, but just like give us something new and fresh. The main thing that I'm excited about is that we're getting more Pirates films, because I miss adventure movies, man. I miss like Indiana Jones. I miss like Romancing the Stone, like movies like that.
I think part of the problem too, you can tell, and I researched this. I believe the first like 3 Pirates movies, I think they were all storyboarded, which I think is why they looked so good.
Yeah,
like, you could tell that there was a lot of care put into them, and that might just be a Gore Verbinski thing, but I miss those kind of movies too, for sure.
Yeah, no, I definitely. The original 3 are excellent. And then you go from there. They're not quite as good. I like 5. It's not great, but so yeah, maybe a reboot could be necessary here. Okay, going back here. So SPC Bird 3171993 asks, do you guys think Solo: A Star Wars Story would have been better as a Disney Plus series instead of a film? Tyler, I'm going to let you start this one out as the Solo fanboy.
Yeah, well, I love Solo the movie. I think should have been a movie because it's awesome. Like, that is a great movie, and I'm so sad that we're not going to get any more, probably. But it probably, if it would have been a Disney Plus series, we probably would have gotten a lot more of it. So it's weird. Mm-hmm. So like, part of me wishes it would have been, but I'm really happy with the movie that we got because I loved it. But I think it would have been a good series. I honestly do. There's a lot you could have done with the character in that cast. That could have been their big Game of Thrones, like we were talking about earlier, with a cast like that.
Yeah,
would have been awesome
for sure. Yeah, Chris, how do you feel? I know you're not a big Star Wars guy.
No, you're good. But I did see Solo, and I rather enjoyed it, But I think I would have preferred it continue off as a trilogy or a set of films. Disney Plus series, not so much. Like I think to myself, how much would I like The Mandalorian if Baby Yoda wasn't in it? And I don't even mean that as a meme. I just mean like everything that is to dealing with Baby Yoda, why he exists, what is his purpose, the origin behind the Yodas. I know that's not the name of their species, but like that's kind of what really enthralled me into the show. And I don't know if knowing where Han Solo's journey ends, if I would have been invested in a Disney Plus series where 30, 40-minute episodes of 10 of them. So I think I would have been fine with the trilogy.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm not a big fan of the movie, but I think there was room to kind of explore the criminal underground of this time, explore Han Solo and his adventures and whatnot. And maybe maybe through like more films, we would have seen the character become the person that we know at the beginning of A New Hope. The movie just
Let me ask you this, Griffin. Do you like that movie more if that is not Han Solo and just a random guy? Like take away his name, strip him of his name. Do you like that movie? If it's just about a random bounty hunter?
I think that there's still issues with it, but I can accept it a little bit more because at least it's an adventure because the movie as a whole does not really tie into the franchise, right? It's so detached and just random. It almost should have been like a completely different person, or just focus it on Lando. That was the big question to me, was like, what? Lando is one of the most beloved side characters of all time, and we really don't know a whole lot about him. And he's a character that maybe could have benefited from understanding a little bit more about him, and then maybe having that tie into, The Rise of Skywalker, where we discover that, he has a kid apparently. So if Solo had actually been Lando, I think I actually would have enjoyed it a little bit more. It's just, I hate the whole concept of needing Han Solo's origin explained in such just like a weird way. I don't know. I have many issues with that film, but we'll move on from it. So Colin Williams is in the chat. Thanks for joining, Colin. Really appreciate it. I guess there was people talking about Apple TV shows in here. He says, For All Mankind was a great show. Nobody really talks about. Great alternative reality of the Soviets landing on the moon first. Tyler, I know you're the biggest Apple TV Plus fan in here. So
it's the best streaming service out right now.
Really?
It's the bomb. Yeah, I love it. Like
the hot takes.
Yeah, it's For All Mankind is awesome. Like it's a great show. But I'm the one person who thinks every single Apple TV show I've seen has been exceptional. So yeah, I'm very pro Apple streaming, Apple TV Plus or whatever. I'm trying to get as many people to watch it as I can.
Well, you're big on the morning show.
Yeah, it's my favorite. Yeah, morning show's like one of the best shows ever. It's so good.
How's the Steven Spielberg show? What was it, Greatest Story or the?
I only watched Amazing Stories. Yeah, I only watched the first episode. It was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, you should definitely watch some of their shows, Chris. They're really good.
Well, you said morning show, and give me a top 3.
Do morning show, do Defending Jacob, and then do either For All Mankind or C. C is really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's weird because I think C is actually one of the worst ones. But
it's weird, but it's good, man.
It's not, I don't think it's good. It's just, I mean, Jason Momoa's in it, so maybe that'll keep you entertained. We got a question here from Zach. Another one. He says, "I know you love Assassin's Creed. What time period or place that they haven't done yet would you want for Western or would you want? For me, it's Western or World War One. I think they're doing it personally. The Viking one, like the Norse mythology, like that's, I feel like they set it up pretty well because they've already tackled ancient Egypt. They did ancient Greece and Rome a little bit with, Odyssey and Origins. Man, I've been waiting for the Vikings one forever. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla is like, that's it, man. I want that. I've been dying for that time period. I also agree with you on World War One. It'd be nice to see an Assassin's Creed movie that's a little bit closer to our world right now. I think there's just a lot of interesting things you can do with it. And World War One is such an untapped time period with a lot of ambiguity and morally gray things going on. So I think that there could be a nice way of tying that into the Battle of the Templars and the Assassins. A Western obviously would be fun, but then I think you kind of the problem arises of it becoming too much of like a Red Dead Redemption. So it's like, yeah, I'm not 100% sure on it, but what do you guys think? What's like a time period you'd like to see explored?
So they've done pirates. They're doing Vikings. What else have they done?
They've done ancient Egypt. They've done ancient Greece, ancient Rome. They've done like Renaissance Italy, the Crusades, American Revolution, the French Revolution. They've done a lot.
It feels like they've done it all. I mean, it really is left there with either Western or World War One. I think I have to go World War One with you.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, the other one that would be good would be like a samurai one.
Oh,
yeah, I'd love to see them go to like feudal Japan or something like that. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. All right, going back in here.
Could they do one like? You think they could do one with like where you play like? This might sound really stupid, really stupid, but you play like Robin Hood.
They probably. I mean, you probably could. I don't know what. I guess that would be kind of like.
I don't really know when that's
England.
Set, yeah,
I don't know what time period that would be. Cool. That could be a good one. Yeah, you have like Robin Hood be an assassin. I'd be down for that. Okay, let's see. Tony Movie Chappie D9 Neil Blomkamp #1 fan asks Chappie for me is a movie that I never understood the hate for. For me, it is one of those movies where I think it's truly misunderstood by so many people, and for me, it's truly a science fiction masterpiece. Do any of you agree with that?
No, I think a lot of it comes from there was just a misunderstanding from the marketing of what it was said to be. I got a different idea from it, and then when the movie started focusing on those two other characters, I forget their names, and they're like rappers in real life or something like that.
It was like Diane Word or something like that. Yeah,
I was really confused and just like this was not what I was expecting at all.
Yeah. Tyler, go ahead.
I love Chappie. Like Chris. I did not expect it to be like that, but for whatever reason, it worked for me. I don't think it's a masterpiece by any means, but it's weird. It's a weird movie. Like it's really weird. But I dug it.
Yeah, to me, Neil Blomkamp has only made one through and through great movie, and that's District 9. I like Elysium. I don't love it. I hated Chappie. It was one of the, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to shit on a movie you love, man. Not you, but the Tony Movie Chappie, that guy. I don't mean to shit on a movie you love. It was obnoxious. The characters annoyed me. Chappie was just like, what happens to him is just so frustrating and infuriating, and then he becomes annoying. I don't know what Hugh Jackman is doing in that movie. And I don't think
that's right. I forgot he was the villain.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
I don't think Neil Blomkamp.
Maybe it's not a good movie.
Yeah, he really didn't. I don't know. I don't want to say he knew what he was doing, but I just don't think he had a good vision for it. But I still think Neil Blomkamp is a good filmmaker with a really distinct visual style. And so I'd love to see him tackle more things for sure. But unfortunately, it's just not a movie for me, man. Sorry about that.
Were you happy when he dropped RoboCop?
I actually would have liked to have seen his RoboCop because I like his style, and I think you look at Elysium in District 9, and there's potential there. Yeah, it would have been unique, but maybe it's for the best. I don't know. I still think his Halo movie would have been good. I think it would have been.
What about his Alien movie?
I was hyped for that. I was
actually hyped on that. Yeah.
I was really pumped for that movie.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like I'm excited for the stuff that he does, but like sometimes when we get it, it's just like what's going on here. Anyways, Colin Williams asks Griffin, since you think Casino Royale is overrated, what is your favorite Bond film? That's hilarious because obviously Casino Royale is not overrated, and I know you're being cheeky in the chat right there. So Casino Royale is my favorite Bond film. Following Casino Royale, I believe it's On Her Majesty's Secret Service or From Russia with Love, one of those two films. Do either of you two have a favorite Bond film? Love. That's your favorite?
Yeah, that's mine.
You just got 1,000,001 bonus points in my book, buddy. That's inspired choice.
That's also because it's like only one of the three I've seen.
Listen, you didn't need to add that part. Tyler, what is your number one? Do you have one
aside from Casino? I probably go. I like Skyfall and Spectre, so I would go Skyfall and Spectre, probably 2, 3.
Fair enough. Certain Vids asks, do you know which streaming service Capone will be releasing on? So Capone, Tyler, you
Get ready for Capone.
You can't talk about it. Capone is hitting VOD on May 12th, which I believe is this Tuesday.
Yeah,
it's in 3 days. Tyler has seen the movie. I am going to watch it tomorrow. Chris has not seen the movie.
I'm not.
So,
are you not allowed to say anything, Tyler?
Get ready for Capone.
Okay.
I will speak to you after this.
Okay.
After this live stream.
Yeah, it's but it's releasing on a VOD, so you can get it on Vudu, Apple or iTunes. You can get it on Fandango now. Any of those sites where you can purchase films for rent. You can even get it on like on demand through like Comcast or like DirecTV and stuff like that. So you'll be able to get it that way, but you do have to pay for it. So a lot of people excited about Chris involved in the chat. I know we're super behind, guys. Sorry about that. If you want us to get to your question immediately, like I said, super chat is available to you. And I see we actually did get one. So let me try and pull that up. Here we go. Hey guys, I saw La Femme Nikita and Korean remake The Villainous today. Great times. What foreign films would you say are a great movie experience? Great question, man. Because Tyler has actually been going through a lot of foreign films through the Criterion Collection. Like watch you're doing.
Yeah, I've been watching like 3 Criterion movies a week, and they're in different countries. So I've been watching a lot of foreign movies lately. I've seen a lot of great foreign movies, but I would recommend a good Japanese one, Harakiri, masterpiece, so good. So I'll just throw that one out there. But if you have Criterion Channel, or if you don't, it's definitely a good investment. A lot of great movies on there, a lot of great foreign movies too. So
yeah, for sure. Chris, do you have any favorite foreign films?
It's Parasite. I'm one of those idiots who gets annoyed with subtitles, but I'll do it for the ones that people really do recommend. And whenever I do finally sit down and watch a subtitle movie and just bear myself to it, I end up enjoying and loving it. And I get in this mood that's like, all right, I'm gonna make a list of subtitle movies that I never get around to.
Yeah. Weirdly, and I know this is kind of a cheat here, but I've always been a big defender of The Artist, which is technically a French film, but it's actually not really a movie and not really like a language film in general, because it's a silent movie, but it was made with a predominantly French cast and French filmmaker and whatnot. I've always loved that movie. I always think it's sweet. It's a nice examination of like the changing of an industry. So if you've never seen, what the hell do you call it? The Artist, then definitely check it out.
Oh, I would also recommend my favorite foreign movie of all time is probably Apocalypto. That's on Amazon Prime right now.
Oh, good. Yeah, good choice. Good choice. Yeah,
that's that has not been on. Do it.
That counts as foreign? Sorry.
No, yeah. It's because there's subtitles.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Mel Gibson directed it, but
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Didn't Mel Gibson? Okay, that was.
But that's a great movie. It's on Prime.
Yeah.
So check
sure. Got another super chat in here from Zeke Gonzalez on Zaldi. He says, "Go Tigers, Tyler."
So, yeah, man. We won the football championship.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of funny because you were put in a weird situation where it was like you had to go for either the Sooners or the Tigers, right? During the playoffs. Yeah.
I was born an OU fan, but I went to LSU, so I kind of have to go for LSU too. And they played each other. It was really weird, but I won either way, so. Didn't really matter
for sure.
Funny.
Let's see. Going back here. Oh, it's got another super chat that I missed. Sorry, guys. Trying to get to some of these, but I've missed a few super chats here. But Charlie Burdikins asks, "What do you think about a Back to the Future reboot?" Tyler, let's start with you.
Oh man. Okay. So Back to the Future is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's one of my favorite trilogies. I mean, like you can't recreate the magic. I feel like you just can't. But if they remade it, I'm not gonna lie, I would be super excited. Like I know it would be a disaster, but like I've seen some really cool inspired casting choices back in the day. Like this wouldn't work now, but someone was like Miles Teller as Marty. Like that, to me, that would totally work. I could totally see that happening. And then of course there's that deep fake video with Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr., which looked pretty. It looked pretty sweet. Like I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty into that. But yeah, what about y'all? What do you think?
I'm in the camp. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Griffin.
Oh, no. I was gonna say no. Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Yeah.
I'm in the camp of reboot everything. Okay, like I know people hate when I say that, especially if I bring it Back to the Future. But I just I don't believe in just closing a chapter and never touching it again. I feel like there's a way to do it. Maybe not a Back to the Future 4 where you even continue it. I just mean I'd like to see a movie with a kid who uses a DeLorean to go back to the past and doesn't have to be the exact same story of meeting your parents, but just messing something up, having to fix it. Just the inherent nature of what Back to the Future is and how stylized it is. Like I would love to see that modernized, and it just sucks that whenever you say something like that, you just get hit with death threats because you're not supposed to say reboots are okay, especially for Back to the Future. But I would be all up for it.
Yeah, and I think there is a way to do it in a modern setting. I mean, obviously, like things have kind of changed. The thing I like about Back to the Future, though, is that while it's very much like a product of the '80s, I think the themes and the everything that they tackle in those films are kind of like timeless and universal.
Yeah,
it is a great sort of coming of age film in certain ways, and it's just a great wacky adventure. And like to replace Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd just feels wrong because they're so iconic in those roles. They're like as attached to those characters as like other people. I think there's a way you can do it. But I'd have to see a really good pitch for it, they'd almost have to do something completely different and so like far away from what the originals were for it to work,
Yeah, I'm not saying remake a Marty McFly and make up a Doc Brown. I'm saying do something like what Predators did with Adrian Brody, where it's just so uniquely different. But I think that film worked as a Predators more than Shane Black.
I agree with you. That's a great point because I love I think it's one of the most underrated.
It's one of the best openings of all time to any movie.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
It is, and it's the most underrated Predator movie. Might be my second favorite behind the original Predator. I don't know about you guys.
My favorite. I love that movie.
Oh, Tyler with the hot takes.
I know, right?
Yeah, for sure. But anyways, thank you, man, for the super chat. I think we got another one in here. So let's try and get to that. We go. Zeke Gonzalez Anzaldi says, so I was born in New Orleans and raised an LSU fan, but I'm currently a student at Auburn University. Who are some underappreciated actors? Well, you and Tyler have a lot to talk about, and because of that, we'll let Tyler start with who you think some underappreciated actors are.
Well, first off, I'm sorry, Auburn. They're pretty big rival. Not as bad as Alabama, but man, I'm sorry, but it's still cool that you go there. That's a good school. Underappreciated actors. I would know this answer any other day, but I'm totally blanking right now.
Here, I'll go because I have one.
Go ahead.
You got some? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I thought Dane DeHaan was the next Leonardo DiCaprio, and not just because they looked like him. When I saw him in Chronicle, I'm like, this kid's gonna be everywhere. He's gonna do amazing things. And then when he did get cast in The Amazing Spider-Man, I'm like, here we go. Trajectory is setting off. And now he's doing shows on Quibi, and I'm like, what happened, man? So I think Dane DeHaan really had it in him, and then I don't know what happened.
Maybe this is controversial, but I have never bought into Dane DeHaan. I've never been a fan of his, man. I just don't think. I don't. I don't think he's a good actor.
Wow, okay.
I think he's a good actor in very specific roles. I think he's great in Chronicle, and I think he's excellent in A Cure for Wellness. That's where he excels. Everything else I've seen him in, he is so flat. Very just like awkward, and like maybe that's the point, but it doesn't work. It's awkward in a way that's like off-putting.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I love The Amazing Spider-Man 2. The casting of Dane DeHaan as Harry Osborn is one of the worst casting decisions I've ever seen in my entire life. And he has no chemistry with Andrew Garfield in that scene where they're trying to like bond. So awkward. Like it's really, really uncomfortable. And I think I just get that vibe from literally everything he's in. So
I'll do a special shot. I agree with Griffin. I do think he excels in movies like A Cure for Wellness and Chronicle, but I love Valerian. I know a lot of people don't.
Yeah,
I thought Valerian was really good, but again, I really can't. I usually have so many answers for this, but the only one I can think of off the top of my head, a guy who I thought was really going to blow up and become like the next A-lister is Patrick Wilson, who was in Insidious, the dad in Insidious, and he's in Aquaman too. But he hasn't really blown up as big as I thought. But I think he's a great actor, and he has all the talent to be an A-lister. But he's really good.
Yeah, for sure. I think for underrated actors, I think this is going to be a weird one here, but I think Keanu Reeves is an underrated actor. Because like everyone always praises the stunt work he does and his ability to physically commit to roles. I think he's a really good performer. He's very giving. And I think what separates him from someone like a Dane DeHaan, who is similar, they're kind of monotone, but like one actually works. I think Keanu Reeves emotes a lot with his eyes, and you see it like a lot. And I think he's a great springboard for other actors. Like he's great at in scenes where he's like surrounded by other people and other people are trying to emote off of him, and he'll like give them that little extra push. And so he's very giving with his performance. And just look at The Matrix. I mean, honestly, I think he's terrific in that film. And then he's only gotten better with age. And so I don't think people really appreciate what he does as an actor. And I've always fought for the guy, maybe because I like him in real life, but I really do think like he gets a lot of flack for his performance, and that is probably not fair.
I've got one more.
Go for it.
Eric Bana. That dude is so talented. I really think that guy is like, I know Hulk is, a lot of people don't like that movie, but like,
I liked it.
I did too. I liked Hulk quite a bit, but
I was a kid.
But dude, that dude, he's so good in Troy. He's good in Hannah. But again, he's just someone who, I think he was in Lone Survivor too, but he just really hasn't had that chance to break out yet. But I like him a lot.
Modern day Brendan Fraser.
That's another one. Dude,
that's honestly
that's a great choice, man.
Yeah, that's very, very, very fair. Got my Christian Eulenberg is in here, guys. If you don't listen to Film Optics, go check it out. Go check out their channel and everything like that. Christian hosts over there. Guy's awesome. Got some great opinions. He's also a host over on the Cinemania World Show. Always love interacting with him. And he's asking if I've watched Solar Opposites yet. I have not. I know they're sending out screeners, I believe. Either they have or the show's already premiered. I can't remember, but I have not watched it. That's the Hulu show, right? From the guys who did Rick and Morty.
Okay, that's what it is. Where the aliens go?
Yeah, with the aliens. Yeah, that one. Do you guys know much about that?
Haven't seen it yet. From what I hear from Austin Burke, who sees everything and anything, he liked it. So
he liked it. Okay, good. Yeah. I think they they were just like throwing out screeners, but I haven't gotten a chance to watch that yet. So maybe we'll see what happens. NBR asks, what do you guys think of Tree of Life? I feel people either love it or they hate it. Personally, I love it. Tyler, I'll let you start with this one. Do you love Tree of Life?
I mean, it's a beautiful looking movie. Probably one of the best looking movies, but wow, so boring. It is a pretty boring movie. Terrence Malick, I'm very picky with him. He makes, again, great looking films, but they're really just not for me. They're really hard to watch. They're really long, pretty slow. But at least they look nice, you know?
Yeah, that was one of those movies. I had my phone in my hand and watching it, and then I just became more enthralled into my phone than what I was doing. I was watching it at home, not in the theater, but I just couldn't get into it, so I had to put it down, and I never got back to it.
Yeah. I'm not a big Malick guy. I just can't. I can't get into his movies at all. I've never been a fan. I think the only good movie of his is The Thin Red Line, I think, and even that pushes it a little bit. But like The New World, I had to turn it off, man.
His most recent one, Hidden Life, was actually not too bad. I saw it.
Yeah,
it's just a little long, but it's a little easier to follow, and it's not too bad.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but like Tree of Life, it's a movie I admire and I appreciate.
I want to love it so bad.
I want to love it too, and I've tried so many times, man. But I can't get into it. Which it's either one way or the other for people. But anyways, another question here from that Tony Adams. He says, "Let's settle this: The Office or Parks and Rec?" Chris, what do you got?
The Office, all the way. I love Parks and Rec, but it's The Office. I've watched The Office 7 times. I've watched Parks and Rec once.
That's a fair comparison. Tyler, are you going the same direction?
Yeah, I love both, but The Office for me is I gotta go with that one. It's Michael Scott. I'm also going with The Office, similar for the same reason that Chris says. I've like rewatched The Office a million times.
I don't know what it is, what they did, but it's so rewatchable. Like no matter what,
I think it just boils down to like the cat. Like it just honestly, it comes down to Steve Carell. Steve Carell just makes that show in a way that's almost impossible to like capture again. And look, I love oh God, why am I blanking on her name? Leslie Knope.
Amy Poehler.
Yes, Amy Poehler. I love Amy Poehler. I love Chris Pratt, Aubrey Plaza, all the characters, and Aziz. I mean, like they're all great, but like to me, it just never hit the same heights as The Office. It also didn't hit the same lows, which is good on their part. I think it was a better ending. But
that's another thing. I agree with that. I think Parks and Rec was a little bit more consistent. With how it ended, but the first couple of seasons of The Office is just like holy crap.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you guys think that Space Show is even going to compare? I saw the trailer, and while I laughed a little bit, I don't see me liking it.
I'm nervous.
I'm really nervous too, man, because I don't want it to be too forced. I know Steve Carell is like a co-creator along with Greg Berlanti, or not Greg Berlanti,
Greg Daniels.
Yes, Greg Daniels. Thank you. So like. I'm a little optimistic, but I'm not like 100% sold. The
trailer was a little weird. It wasn't what I really expected it to be. I was like, I don't know. Yeah,
for sure. Guys, if you are just joining, be sure to let us know your questions down in the chat here below. We'll try and get to as many as possible. As always, if you want your question answered immediately, Super Chat is available to you, but it is not required. So let's get back into this thing. Javier Gamino asks, when going to the movies, what is your go-to snack and drink? Who wants to take this one first?
It is medium popcorn, blueberry slushy, and Sour Patch.
Oh, nice. Got the little Sour Patch on there. Okay, I see you. Tyler, what do you go to?
So for me, I do my candy. My go-to candy has always been Goobers. I don't know if either of you have had those before.
I've had.
They're really good. Yeah,
all the Goober.
Me too.
Well, that's probably the most true thing I've heard all day.
And then if I'm really feeling it, I do like nachos, but I always got to go. I don't know why. I always get a large popcorn because they get me with it's free refills, but like I never go for the refill, So I'll do the popcorn, and then like I like Mr. Pibb. Back in the day when I drank soda, I would always go Mr. Pibb. So
you would like Mr. Pibb. That is such a Tyler thing.
I mean, I don't really drink Coke anymore, but I do like the ices, like Chris. I love the ices.
Yeah, I'm not a big soda guy. Never really was, but I get the large Dasani water, and then shortly after, have to purge my system of that because it's disgusting.
Yeah, I was about to say Dasani.
Right. It was really funny. I was watching because it's all they sell at like AMC's and Regals. Thankfully, if you go to an ArcLight, they don't have that, so I don't have to worry about that. But like, you guys watch those water review things where like videos where
I saw the Shane Dawson video. I don't know if y'all saw that.
The Shane Dawson one. Yeah, they're so funny because it's so true. Because it dehydrates you. It's fucking weird, man. Those wackos at Coke, get away from me.
It's funny when Griffin and I go to when he invites me to press screenings. It's funny, like the movies we usually do the popcorn and drinks for the movies we know we're gonna hate. We're like, we're gonna get the most out of this. Like,
we
take all the snacks we can get. We're like, all right.
Wait, so do you guys ever psychopath it and go in with no munchies at all?
Yeah, absolutely.
Most of the time,
most of the time I do that.
Well, I guess that's why I look like this, because I always get
Well, most people do go snack. It's funny. Most of my friends are the same way. They're like, "Why aren't you gonna get anything?" I'm like, "I don't know."
It's like I don't really want anything. I don't want to like feel bloated for the rest of the day.
I could have eaten a buffet, and I'll still need my popcorn there. I don't know what it is. I just need it.
It's a ritual. It's ritual. Listen, I get it, man. Like whenever I go to the movies, I do like to get like a small like buttered popcorn and then like a water or something like that. And if they do it right, they do the popcorn, layer of butter, popcorn, layer of butter, and then it's
what are your thoughts? I might be a total weirdo, but like I love the conventional, just totally classic movie theater foods. I'm not a big fan of when someone gets like a cheese pizza, like you know what I mean, or like a burger. I don't want to smell that. I hate that so much.
Yeah, and AMC is becoming the worst at it because now they're throwing in all sorts of things. They have fried macaroni and cheese now, and like all this. And I'm like,
the worst.
I know. It's like it'll give you the shits while you're watching the movie, and it's not even worth it. No. I totally get that. All right, got another question here from Dennis S. He asks, which rising actor do you guys think general audiences are sleeping on? For me, it'd be Michael B. Jordan, which might be cheating as he's popular to some extent, but damn, is he so good. Thank you for the question. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan is excellent. I don't know if audiences are sleeping on him because
I wouldn't say
I mean he played Adonis Creed in like the Rocky franchise. Yeah, he's gone a little mainstream, and I think like his
Just Mercy, which was good.
Yeah, Just Mercy. His level of talent is pretty well realized.
I think I have the perfect answer, but I want to see what Tyler says first.
Yeah, Tyler, you go first.
Oh, for underappreciated actors?
Well, just like
or just like one that's here. We know him because we see thousands of movies, but the big general audiences are just like
they're sleeping on him. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go with him because he's like it's the most obvious pick for myself, and he's already kind of big. But like Miles Teller, I guess.
He's an
amazing actor. Like he has Top Gun coming out, which I think is really going to help him a lot. But the dude's phenomenal. I think he's a phenomenal actor. Like so good.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. The correct answer for all this is Lucas Hedges.
Oh yeah, I love Lucas Hedges
because he's in all these great movies every year, just like really trying to race for that Academy Award, but only like real indie film fans seem to know him. I doubt, if you walk to your general person who goes to the theater and you said Lucas Hedges, they wouldn't know who he is.
I agree. I kind of like him. I love Timothy Chalamet, but I like Lucas more than Timothy. I think he gives some more interesting performances. But Timothy's great still. He's still great.
Like, Timothy's great also. But he's about to become a big star, hopefully, if Dune performs the way.
Yeah, and Lucas needs that Dune, like that one big thing to really catapult him into the mainstream, I think. But because he always kills it. He kills it in everything, dude.
Yeah. I think that Lucas Hedges is a great pick. Even though like he's still kind of like an up and comer, I think he's really like shown his talent the past couple of years, especially last year. And that's Kelvin Harrison Jr. Kelvin Harrison Jr. is definitely someone I think we're all going to want to keep an eye on. But again, I'm not surprised mainstream audiences don't really know him. I'll throw out another one. He's older. He's been in a lot of stuff, and I just don't. And maybe it's cheating because he's been in the X-Men movies, but like I still feel people kind of sleep on him, and that's Michael Fassbender. Michael Fassbender should be way more well-known than he is, and should be way more well-regarded in like, general audience circles than he is. I mean, to them, he's just Magneto, and while he's excellent in the role,
well, if he would have accepted 50 Shades, he could have been a big star. You remember when he was up for it?
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't go with that. That would have been the end of his could have been the end of his career there, that's for sure. Yeah. Okay, got a super chat here from Gagne1. He says he asks favorite Joker performance. 1, Jack Nicholson Joker. 2, Joaquin Phoenix Joker. 3, Heath Ledger Joker. 4, Mark Hamill's Mask of the Phantasm Joker. So how would you guys rank those performances? For Mark Hamill, you don't necessarily have to do Mask of the Phantasm. It's cheating, but also like I'd say, any of his portrayals, just like because he's had so many. How would you sort of rank your Jokers?
Tyler, you want to take it first? Or?
Yeah. I haven't seen too many of the Batman animated movies, so I'd probably put Mark Hamill in last. He's got a great voice for it, but I'm just not too familiar with him. And then I would go third place, Jack Nicholson. Again, he's great. Second place, Heath Ledger. Then first place, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
He didn't throw in Leto in here, or did he? Oh, he's not. No,
he did. Yeah, I don't think he did. Very, totally understandable. Leto would be last. I think for me personally, I'd go Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix. I would go Mark Hamill, Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix, Jack Nicholson, and then the rest.
All right. For me, then it would be Heath Ledger. See, his performance is weird because while I liked his performance as a Joker, I don't think he's a good Joker because I always argue this. As a Joker, he needs to be able to go toe-to-toe with a Batman, and I can't see him actually standing up either mentally or physically with a Batman. But performance, he did give a good one. I'm thinking way over hard on this. So Heath Ledger.
Is that for who was that for? That was for Joaquin. Okay,
yeah, I couldn't see him master a Batman like Heath Ledger or these others have. So Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson, Joaquin, Mark Hamill, and then the rest.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Thank you for the super chat, my man. And we got another one here from Charlie Burdikin, who asks, "Do you think Teen Wolf will ever get a reboot? Do any of you guys watch Teen Wolf? Because I personally don't."
I saw like the first season or so. I dug it, but then I went off to college, and so I just never kept up with it after that. But it depends, because I mean, are you talking Michael J. Fox Teen Wolf reboot, or are you talking about what's his name? I forget the main actor's name in that MTV series.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the one I was thinking of. But you're right. I forgot about the Michael J. Fox one. Let's go with the movie. Yeah, because I think the movie could definitely get a reboot for sure.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Oh no, yeah, I loved Teen Wolf growing up because Michael J. Fox. When I watched it, I was like, oh, it's the guy from Back to the Future. Yeah. So I really liked it quite a bit. Have y'all seen the Teen Wolf movie?
No, or sorry,
the Michael J. Fox one. Yeah, I always loved the scene where he was like he's surfing on top of the big moving truck or whatever. Like that was always fun. And then I remember Jason Bateman did like Teen Wolf 2, which was kind of a weird movie.
Oh, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, it's like Bateman's like I think he talked about in one of his interviews. It's really funny. But and then the show, I like the show quite a bit actually. That's where Dylan O'Brien kind of was discovered.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Dylan O'Brien was in that one. Yeah, I never caught the show. I mean, I'd always heard from like people that it was actually surprisingly really good.
It's good.
It didn't seem like my cup of tea. But then again, I really liked MTV's Scream. And so I don't know. Maybe it's worth checking.
Yeah, thank you for showing me that, because I was one of those like I'm not watching that. They don't even have the original Mask teenage drama. And then Griffin told me he liked it, and I know how exquisite Griffin's taste is. So I was like, all right, I have to check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, a reboot. I think a reboot would work.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those stories that could definitely be done, multiple times over. Here's a funny one from our president of the United States. Have you ever smoked? So, Chris, have you ever smoked?
Yeah, once. I don't really partake. I'm sort of boring.
Yeah, Tyler. We all know. I mean, Tyler's the biggest rager on the planet.
Yeah.
So,
oh my god!
I'm surprised you don't say zoinks.
Yeah. But no, I'm even more boring than Chris because I've never smoked, and I don't plan to just because I'm not really into it. I don't know. I've just never really been into it or anything.
Fair enough, man. Yeah. What are we talking about? Are we talking about?
He's got a collection of bongs behind the
camera. Right here, guys. Here it is. Yeah. No, are we talking about weed, or are we talking about like
just smoke in general? We don't have to.
Okay,
admit to crimes.
No, yes,
you're in California.
Never smoked weed. Probably never will. But I have smoked cigars, a few cigarillos when I was in college, and never cigarettes because that's just disgusting. But cigars, those are fun. Okay, so we have another one here from. Oh wait, I just lost it. Dang it. Okay, well, we got one here from Zach, so I'll pull this one up. He has biggest movie, game, or TV character that shouldn't be a crush, but was reveal it? But was. Okay, sorry. Okay, biggest movie, game, or TV character that shouldn't be a crush, but was. He says reveal it. So, Tyler, I'm going to let you take this one next.
Do you think he means like a crush, like we like them, like a crush, or like
you think they're attractive, but like maybe you feel wrong about it. I don't know.
Let me think. I mean, when I was a kid, I liked Hermione a lot on Harry Potter.
But that's not weird, though.
Like a weird one. You know who I liked, man, as a kid? This is a weird one. Spy Kids 3, that girl in the purple.
Oh, the third one?
Demetria or something like that.
You didn't get her email address one?
Nah, I never got it, man. But that's a weird one, man.
Yeah. She counts as fictional.
This is bad question, Zach. All right, Chris, go ahead.
I talked about this in a previous video when talking about the new Space Jam. Lola Bunny awakened something in me.
That's very wrong. That's very, very wrong.
Now I want to watch Space Jam.
I'm gonna be honest. I really can't think of one, man.
You want to bring up this question, but you couldn't think of one.
I want to bring it up because it was the first one I saw.
Did you like the girl from? I guess it's not weird. I like the girl from Bridge to Terabithia too when I was young.
Yeah,
that's not really weird though.
No, that's not really weird though. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I
No
don't
Roger
have
Rabbit girl or Betty Boop.
No, not really. That's weird. I'm not. I think you're kind of like revealing another side of yourself here.
No, I'm not saying. I'm
only animated characters. Moving away from animated characters, Dr. Raccoon asks, "What is your opinion on the entire DC franchise? Do you think it's just ruined?" I don't think it's just ruined.
No.
I enjoy the DC films quite a bit, but I don't know, Chris. What do you think?
I don't think they're ruined because they've proven they can really make some great winners with Shazam, Aquaman, the Wonder Woman movies. It's like the real sucky part, and people get mad when I say this. The only flaws were the Batman and the handling of Superman, just how they handled that series. Not saying the movies individually, but just rushing the Justice League and all being based off their shoulders. They could just save themselves. They've already recasted Batman. If they recast Superman and just start fresh and just pretend they're part of it, you basically fixed your DCU because your only real big stinkers are Batman vs Superman and Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree with that. I really thought Man of Steel was a phenomenal start to the whole thing. I was really excited. But like you said, they just totally rushed it. We didn't even get a solo Batman movie. They just jumped right into Batman v Superman. And then Justice League came like the next year or so. Like it was ridiculous. But they're on a stride now. And I really like what they're doing, especially with the Robert Pattinson Batman casting. And this whole DC, is it DC Black that Todd Phillips was thinking about overseeing?
Yeah, that whole like, the Elseworld kind of,
that would be really cool too. I'm very intrigued with that. But yeah, no, not ruined by any means. I think they're really starting to find their stride actually. So
I'm actually more interested in the DC projects than I am in the Marvel projects, just because they're doing different and interesting things, and they're less focused on an interconnected universe than they are on just like telling good stories with the characters they have. So even if it's a miss, at least they take like, bold swings, and like I'm all for that. Yeah. So no, that's never. I think DC's doing excellent stuff, and like I hate Justice League and I hate Suicide Squad, but like outside of that, I really enjoy all the films, even like BVS Ultimate, which is the only version of that film that I think is watchable. Because the theatrical is just butchered to hell and cuts out crucial bits of information. I do agree. I would have liked to have seen like a solo Batman movie for sure, and then go into BVS. But I think BVS kind of works as a follow up to Man of Steel still. So
with those rumors that they're putting Supergirl on hold to figure out on Superman, do you think Cavill's coming back, or do you think they're recasting him?
I think they'd be a fool not to bring him back. Just the man needs another Superman movie. He was just, all you have to do is just like, if DC wanted to just like write off the Snyder stuff, they could still keep Man of Steel, just get rid of BVS and Justice League and Suicide Squad, and then go from there. I don't think that's too far out of the question.
Just for some reason, I think he's going to be recast. I really feel like he's going to be recast too. I think it's too late.
I think it's possible, but if they're keeping Jason Momoa, he is busy. But like if they're still keeping Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot, then they can keep Cavill. Yeah. And plus Cavill loves the character, and I think he just wants to have a real good crack at Superman that isn't an origin story. Josephine DeMarco asks, better movie, Great Mouse Detective or An American Tale?
I'd probably go with An American Tale. Yeah, I liked Fievel Goes West too. That was a really good one. So
I'd go American Tale. I like that one a lot.
I really like The Great Mouse Detective, so I think I would go with that one. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I just remember really, really digging it, and the vocal performances, because I think, doesn't Vincent Price play the evil rat in that movie?
I think he does.
He voices him, which that's a stroke of genius. So yeah, definitely love that. Not that you guys are really big James Bond fans, but this is a good question. Family Guy BRL asks, what is y'all's favorite James Bond theme song? Tyler, what's your favorite?
Yeah, I really like Billy's new song, but I can't really pick that because the movie hadn't come out yet. I feel like I would probably say I'd probably go with Skyfall. I really like Sam Smith's Writings on the Wall, but Skyfall is just so good.
Yeah,
Skyfall's iconic. Yeah, it's definitely a classic for a reason. My personal favorite though is Chris Cornell's "You Know My Name." I just think that it's like in tandem with Martin Campbell's direction and like his grapple on rebooting Bond. Basically, it's such just an aggressive and confident statement right off the bat. And I mean, I love Chris Cornell as an artist, so I like Soundgarden and Audio Machine are just amazing groups. So I was great to see. It was cool to see him tackle a Bond song because it's so not someone that you think should do one, but we're really grateful to have had it.
I liked Radiohead's like unofficial Bond song too that they did.
Spectre. Yeah, that was a good one,
that was a cool one.
Let's see. Going through some of the chat here. A lot of just general praise, which, you know what? Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying.
I saw people clowning on me for my cartoon fetish, so leave me alone.
Well, yeah, there were some people in there.
Leave the man and let him leave him in peace.
Coke Man sends in a super chat. He says, "Great video. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that, and glad you're having a good time here." Sergio asks, question: do you guys like Mad Max Fury Road more or Thunderdome more? For me, this is really easy because I don't like Thunderdome at all. So Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, Fury Road. No, yeah, by a mile. Yeah,
I mean, it got nominated for an Academy Award. Like, how? Who thought that would happen for Mad Max?
Yeah. I know. I agree, and I've just never. I've always thought Beyond Thunderdome is just like a weird movie that has like a great first 20 minutes, and then just
it's great, but
and then it becomes like Peter Pan. It's just weird. It's really. I don't know what George Miller.
Daddy Daycare.
Daddy Daycare. Yeah, really definitely was. Sean Higgins asks, "What's your favorite scary movie?" Chris, let's go with you first.
It's Scream. It really is Scream. It was just so different how you could be a parody but taken serious at the same time. And I always prefer my stories grounded in reality and the fact that it just could have been anybody. And then the mystery reveal and that performance with Matthew Lillard at the end, I was just like, this is it for me. But aside from that, I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street, that's up there as well.
Yeah, for sure. Tyler, how about you?
For me, Insidious, the first one. To me, it's the scariest movie ever made. Like the movie terrifies me still to this day.
PG-13, so yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, I really like that one. But I also too like if I had to go like classic, my favorite's Nightmare on Elm Street. I really like that franchise a lot.
Yeah, for sure. My favorite horror franchise I think is definitely the Scream ones as well. But just to kind of shake things up, love Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 is so good. So good. I love Cable as Ash. And even Army of Darkness is a great follow-up. The first Evil Dead is a nice little like kind of prototype for what the series would become. And it's just like super low budget and grungy. So I dig that. Another one that I think gets not slept on, but like still really fucking holds up, man, is the original Texas Chainsaw. That movie just creeps you the fuck out. It's especially because it feels like very tangible and real. It's almost shot like a documentary. And while there's camp in it for sure, like there's just some really disturbing imagery in that. And I understand why it became a phenomenon after, seeing that. So
I'm going to get hate, but the Jessica Biel remake's better.
Listen, you're not the only one who thinks Cody Leach thinks that too.
No, I think that the 2003 and 2006 ones are amazing. I don't want to say better than the first, but I think they really are up there and they deserve more credit than some of the sequels.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. I need to go back and rewatch the remake of Texas Chainsaw because I remember the first time I saw it, I was just kind of like, I don't really like this.
Just pissed on the ending because I don't want to ruin it. But basically, boy teleports in the back of a car and then.
Yeah, but that Leatherface, he's terrifying. Like he's huge.
He
I remember when he first comes out, he's like slamming on the ground. He's like, "Come out!"
Not even that. His family, what's his name?
Yeah,
Arlie Emery or whatever. Arlie Emery.
Yeah.
That is way scarier than Leatherface, in my opinion. I would not want to be caught with him.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I remember because Cody was on Sean's podcast with me this past week, and we were actually talking about that. I think he brought that up, and I just got to go back and revisit it, man. It's been a while. Okay, another question here from Dr. Raccoon. What franchise do you think was ruined by a reboot?
See, to me, that question doesn't exist because you can't ruin something with a reboot or something. Because like we had Nightmare on Elm Street 2010, horrible movie. No offense to Jackie Earl Haley, he did his best, but the material was not there. I still love Nightmare on Elm Street. I still love Freddy Krueger. I just don't acknowledge that movie. But if we had to pick something, I I don't know. I jumped in without an answer.
Well, I mean, I guess your answer would be Nightmare on Elm Street, I guess. If you had to pick something.
If I had to pick something, I guess that would be it.
Because
they turned him into a pedophile, and I'm like, I hate Freddy, but does he have to be a pedophile?
You're gonna hate me, Chris, but I like the reboot.
Oh, what? Come on,
I do.
Man.
Yeah.
That's not.
I do.
Not
but
okay.
I love like, I mean, the first original is like the best, but
30-year-olds playing teenagers.
Dude, I don't know why. I just
Dad. I will listen. Off topic here, but I will say, out of the reboots that they've done for that, excluding David Gordon Green's Halloween, I actually don't hate the Friday the 13th one.
Oh, I love that one as well.
I think that one. I think it's actually pretty underrated.
That was really good. I wish they would have continued it, but now they're stuck in legal trouble.
Yeah,
right.
That was a really good one.
But yeah, I think for me, it's not necessarily that they ruined the original, but like a lot of the Disney live action remakes, I just don't like. And yeah, I get what you're saying, like Chris, in terms of like, you'll always have the original, but like for me, I would rather like kids grow up, and maybe this is wrong of me to say, but it's like, I'd rather like just them. Yeah, like I'd rather like them growing up seeing the original ones instead of like these remakes that just don't have the artistry or the passion or like the value that those original films had. Obviously, each generation is going to have their new set of films, but it's like my kids, like I'm going to show them the original ones, and then if they want to go watch those movies on their own, feel free. But like I'm not going to like show them the live action remake of The Lion King because that's just
that's the
bad movie. Just watch the original. Oh, go for it. Yeah, let's hear it. Yeah.
Probably the worst rebooted movie I've ever seen is Point Break. That is a really bad movie.
Yeah, that is bad.
That is a terrible movie.
I did not understand.
Yeah. Like that was really bad.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think that's a good one. Marshall Bawley here Marshall Boy here with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. Really, really appreciate it. He just chimed in the chat and he said, "How does Tyler like the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street?"
I'm
sorry, guys.
I'm so sorry.
Go attack him on Twitter. Feel free. No, really don't do that. Okay, he asks, how many movies do you guys watch a week on average? I think Tyler, actually, you probably watch more than both of us. I would say you're in those film groups.
Yeah, I mean, especially now with this quarantine, like that, there's really not much else to do. But I would say on average, at least, like I don't do it every day, but at least one movie a day, probably. On average, I try to do that at least. By the end of the week, it's I can hit at least 7 probably.
For sure. What about you?
Yeah, one like every other day. I mean, maybe because I'm also trying to get caught up with shows and stuff, and people think, and I got that feel. I feel like I have to watch everything to be in the know, to be in the current, especially being on YouTube. You feel like you just have to know. So I guess more shows than movies, but yeah, at least like 4 movies a week or so.
Yeah, for sure. I try to, I try to watch one a night before I go to bed or something like that. Sometimes I fall asleep and I don't really count that though. But, I try, if not like probably like every other night, similar to Chris for sure. Sometimes I'll get like more than one in, and that's fun. But yeah, thank you for the super chat, man. Really, really appreciate that. Guys, we are going to start wrapping up here. We'll take a few more extra questions, then we'll start closing this out. So if you want your question answered, be sure to send in a super chat, and we'll get to that as soon as we can. Okay, Mike Media Inc. asks, any of you think the Joker movie is overrated? This will be interesting because I know how Tyler feels, but I'm not entirely sure if I know how Chris feels on this one.
I don't think it's overrated. I think they did a good job. I think it did work well. I hate to be that type of person, but I just feel like the other thing is just like it's a mishmash of so many movies that came before it that I just can't call it original, if that makes sense. An original take on the
agree.
On Joker. So I wouldn't say it's overrated because it's nicely put together for the Joker, but then you can't deny how much it's been influenced, and whether you call it an homage or a straight up, just copycat.
Yeah, for sure. Tyler, I know where you stand.
No, for me, it's like a classic. I actually watched the trailer again today. I think the trailers are brilliant for that movie, and I was rewatching it again. I was like, yeah, this is going to be like truly a classic. I think. I really think it's going to stand the test of time. Yeah, I love it. I think it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, no, I mean that's fair. I mean, I think it's a very well acted movie with a not with a very bare bones script, but it's shot beautifully. I don't think it's overrated. I just, similar to Chris, I feel like if I want to watch Taxi Driver, I'm going to watch Taxi Driver and not Joker. If I want to watch early Scorsese, I'm going to go watch early Scorsese and not Joker. I think I've said this ever since I initially saw it. The greatest thing that Joker has given us is the art that it will inspire. So like, if that means that we get a Mr. Freeze solo movie that adapts the Heart of Ice storyline by some auteur filmmaker and is beautiful, that's the greatest thing that Joker. That's the greatest effect that Joker could have. So like, I'm all for that. Do I think it's overrated though? No, I just, like I said, other films that it's inspired by, that I'd rather watch.
I'm very happy too now that Todd. I don't know if y'all like Todd Phillips. I personally love him. I think he's a great director. He's going to be very much like Christopher Nolan now, in that he has the keys to the kingdom because of what he did. I think he's going to be able to do whatever he wants from now on forever.
Probably, yeah.
Because like highest grossing rated R movie. Yeah, like he's gonna he can do whatever he wants now for life. I feel like, unless he just absolutely makes a bomb or something.
Yeah, for sure. Tony Movie Chappie asks, "What is your guys' favorite parody movie?" One of mine is Haunted House 1 and 2.
I know, Griff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy for me. I've had like ideas on like videos that I've wanted to do on it forever, but
I remember you told me.
Yeah, I know. I was like, it sparked the conversation. But Chris. Well, okay, fine. I'll go first. For me, it's Austin Powers. I think those.
Yep. They're
the best spoof movies of all time, and I think like they do it in a way that's like really clever. And actually has like good writing behind it. Dude, Jay Roach, man, he's kind of Jay Roach directed the hell out of those movies. Those are so funny. Mike Myers is unbelievable. Dr. Evil is like straight up.
Get one more. I want one more.
I want a fourth one so bad. So bad.
I will go with the obvious first 3 scary movies. I don't know. They just make me laugh so hard, and just being a fan of horror movies. But if I had to go with maybe one no one will mention, I count it as a parody when maybe it's more of a mockumentary. Never Stop, Never Stopping with Long Island.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
yeah.
It
was fantastic. Yeah.
Really good one. Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly, it's hard not to go with Austin Powers, like in terms of quality, because those are pretty like quality movies on top of being really funny. But I guess kind of to throw a curveball in there, I think this kind of counts Galaxy Quest. That's really funny.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a Star Trek sort of. It's really good.
Yeah. That's for sure. Good one. Here we go. I'm going to take a few more, guys, so just send in those questions if you want them answered. Zeke asks again, thoughts on Jared Leto as an actor? I've always felt like he's been underappreciated. I actually think he's overrated. He's an Academy Award winning actor, so I don't think he's underappreciated. He's just way too pretentious and up his own ass for me. He just needs to go back to making music for 30 Seconds to Mars. I'm kind of over him as an actor, as a person, honestly.
That's how I feel. It's like, I can see he's a really great actor when he puts his mind to it, but I can't get past how pretentious and just rude he is. And just hearing those stories about like sending condoms and dead rats to people, I'm like, why?
Yeah, I know. Tyler, what do you got?
No, I liked him in like early Jared Leto stuff, like Requiem for a Dream is really good. Dallas Buyers Club, but like he's so annoying now. He's so annoying. Like hearing like the whole thing, like he was out with his cult or whatever. And he's like, oh, there's a pandemic now. It's like, what? Come on,
it's
dude.
The most Jared Leto thing I've ever heard of. It's so stupid. But anyways, I've just never really been a big fan of his. Let's see. Neen FGC asks, if you could write, direct any franchise or series, what would it be? Great question. I like that one. And do you guys have a choice?
Oh man.
I mean, for Chris, it's got to be Chucky, right?
I would like my hand at it because I don't. Well, not even Chucky. I would want an original horror doll movie because nowadays they're just not as good. You look at Annabelle the Boy, all they do is just sit and move their heads. I guess that's why I was so excited with the 2019 movie, is just because it was actually moving around, knife in his hand and all that. So I guess I would like to do like a horror doll movie.
Did you like Dead Silence?
Yes, I did like Dead Silence.
That one's pretty good. It's kind of underrated.
It's okay. It kind of loses me a little bit, but you know, I think Lee Winnell and James Wan have only improved from them.
Yeah.
So. Tyler, what do you got on this?
I would say this one's kind of hard, but I've always wanted to see like a cool Joker-ish take, like a more realistic, grounded take on not necessarily the character of Spider-Man, but like, a guy who gets bitten by a spider and kind of becomes Spider-Man. I think that would be kind of cool, like a really low budget, kind of gritty.
Dark one.
So would you direct and write that?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to, but yes, I would. I would.
Yeah. I think for me, I would want to do an Indiana Jones movie.
Wow. Because a Bond movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like sure that could be a lot of fun. In its own right, but Indiana Jones should be as big as James Bond, and it's just kind of fallen by the wayside. And it's just Lucasfilm is sitting on wasted potential. Give us more indie. Like it's so underused and it's ridiculous. Like I was talking about my good friend Brody. He went back and he was like playing some of the games, and we were just talking about that, and it was just like, man, like, why have they given up on this property? Like, I get Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was like not great. It was still well received critically, and it made a lot of money. But like, maybe have another crack at it. Just reboot it. We don't need Harrison Ford to make Indiana Jones. I would argue that it could be like James Bond, where you replace the actor after so many years, but you keep Indy in the same time period going on 1,000,001 adventures. Like, there's no reason why it should not be, why there shouldn't be more of those films. It's so frustrating. Okay, let's see. I lost some of the questions in here. I'm gonna try and take just a few more, guys. So send those questions in. Why I haven't even I lost literally all of the questions. It's so annoying here. Where is it? Okay. Well, here's one. Here's one right here. Just got here, but what's your favorite Joker suit?
Jack Nicholson one. Just classic, nice purple. I also like the makeup on that one. I like the effect where the skin effect where he had regular skin and then he got hit with water and then the white came out. I love the Jack Nicholson look. Yeah,
that's a good one. That's a good one for sure. Tyler, what do you got?
I'd probably just go Joaquin. I guess, yeah. Probably just go with him. Because he's my favorite.
I think I'd actually agree with you on that one. The red suit is really striking and it's different. And the makeup is really unique, and it was weird.
His hair is cool too.
Yeah, his hair is cool. It's kind of like a mixture of Ledger and Nicholson. I really do like that. Yeah, that'd be my pick as well. All right, we got another super chat in here from Ganyai. He asks, now that Lord of the Rings is about to have a TV series, on Amazon, are we ready for a 7-season Harry Potter TV series on Netflix? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No way, man. I don't want to see Harry Potter tackled in a TV series or anything else like that again. Just keep those movies as they are. If you want to do prequels, that's fine. Sequels, that's fine. But I don't want to see that.
Are you still on board with the Fantastic Beasts movies right now, or are you edging off?
I'm still on board with it. I didn't hate Crimes of Grindelwald as much as most people. I tried to rewatch it recently though, man, and it's kind of a snooze fest. I will admit, but I'm still hopefully optimistic about the future of that, and I like the people involved. So,
Tyler.
Yeah, I'm like Harry Potter's my favorite franchise of all time, but no to the TV show. Sadly, I just don't think it'd be good. And Fantastic Beasts, I was super hyped for them, but man, I don't think they're that good. I don't know. Can't really get into them for some reason. They're just kind of getting worse too. So, if anything, I would just rather them see a continuation of Harry's journey, even though it probably wouldn't be good, but I would rather that than another Fantastic Beasts movie.
Do you think Cursed Child would translate well? I think you've read it, haven't you, Griffin? Or at least I've seen the book in your background before.
I have read it. To me, it kind of plays out more like fan fiction. I'm not really a big fan of it, so I don't want to see that brought to the big screen. But I think it's inevitable, and they'll probably do it for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, in a way, the Cursed Child kind of is fan fiction because J.K. didn't really write it. She
really?
came up with the story. Yeah, it was written by this guy named Jack Thorne. And I thought he did, and another guy too, but I thought the story was pretty cool, but I would much rather, I mean, I don't know. I wish she would have just written another book, like to.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I don't know why it's almost just kind of ruined it, you know?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Got a few more questions in here, guys, but if you want your question answered, send in a super chat. We'll try and get to like 2 or 3 more. Here we go from Sir Remix TM. What do you look for in a horror movie?
I think an essential thing, and Scream taught me this, but if you really look at it, it'll be very vital, is you do need rules, and when you set them up, follow them. One of the things that frustrated me about what was it called, Following, or It Follows? Was they set up great rules, and they created this mythology, and then somewhere in the movie they just kind of broke them. There was another good horror movie that came out that also did that, but I think rules are actually important, and they set up well. Oh, Us was one of those also that had like a cool setup, was doing well, and then it just kind of broke its own universe.
Yeah, that's honestly, I think I do agree with that, actually 100%. I didn't think it really was the case in Us, but I do think
just mean like it over explained itself when you really didn't need to, like that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I actually kind of agree. I liked Us quite a bit, but for me, it loses me in the third act, where I'm like, oh okay. Like I was kind of underwhelmed compared to Get Out. But yeah, I'd probably agree with Chris. Yeah, I mean, I just want it to be good. You know, I mean, it's kind of a BS answer, but like,
it is a BS answer, but I also I agree with the whole abiding by the rules of the world. I think that really goes with any film, to be honest with you, but especially horror movies. I think for me, I look for horror movies that aim to do something different or aim to say something more. I'm just kind of over a lot of the cliches in horror, and I think that largely the genre is moving away from cliches like that, but yeah, every so often you'll get movies like that just are just so uninspired and bland, just do the same thing over and over again. That to me is the worst offense a horror movie can make, just because it is like a common thing among some of the worst horror movies. So I look for films that just try to do stuff a little different or have a fresh angle, or
The Invisible Man,
something like that.
Yes,
like The Invisible Man, perfect example. Yeah. That's an excellent movie.
It's one of the best in a while.
I agree. Okay, gonna be taking 2 more questions here, guys. So make sure you leave those in. We got one from Tony Movie Chappie here. He says, Griffin, Tyler, and Chris, what is the TV show that you guys loved but got mad that it got canceled over it after the first season? I actually got one right off the bat. I don't know if anyone ever saw this show, but it had Jason Isaacs in it. The kid from, I think it's Dylan Minnette. I can't remember whether it was him or someone else, but it was called Awake. It was on NBC, and it was basically about when Jason Isaacs went to sleep, he would wake up in a reality where his wife died, and then when he would go to sleep, he'd wake up in a reality where his son died. And so the whole movie was basically about him kind of grappling with these two sides of him, and basically we had to figure out which one was reality. It was amazing. Jason Isaacs and I believe Dylan Minnette. I think it was him. I can't remember. The guy from 13 Reasons Why. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent show. One of the best things I've ever seen on cable. On network television. And it got canceled after 1 season because, of course, no one watched it. But that's the one I always go to, and I wish I would have loved to have seen future seasons of that.
You got one time?
For me, as a kid, it was I can't really think of anything recent, but as a kid, it was Kyle XY. Dude, we got
XY.
Yeah, we got 2 seasons, huge cliffhanger, but then it's just nothing, It's what the heck?
Yeah.
How did it end again? He had a sister or a brother or whatever?
Yeah, dude. And they're in the lab, I think, and there's this huge cliffhanger, and then season, I think it was either 3 or 4 got canceled. It was what?
Yeah.
I'm going through a list just to remind myself, because I feel like I don't have one, but 2 came up as I was going through the list that I did get into Freaks and Geeks just because a lot of people were banging on about that, and even though it wouldn't have been my time, probably if it continued it would have ended before I would even ever get around to it, but I felt like that could have really been something. And that show, held up. I watched it, I think it was last year, and it was still good. It has, like James Franco and all these Seth Rogen, all these other stars. And it was very progressive. Seth Rogen was dating a trans in this show. It was
yeah.
It was crazy. But other than that, it was Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Oh yeah, that was a show that was cut too soon. Yeah, for sure. Actually, got a lot of people in here with some questions, so we'll get to a few more. We'll try and go through them really quick because we're almost on the 2 hour mark, and I don't want to go too much over that. So, Dan D asks, what would be your fan cast director for an Indiana Jones reboot? Well, it's funny that you mentioned this, Dan D, because I'm actually working on a video right now in collaboration with Matt Draper. I don't know if you've ever watched any of his videos, but he's an amazing comics YouTuber, great pop culture guy, super well informed and well put together video essays. We're doing a video on why Joe Johnston should do Indy 5 or reboot the Indiana Jones franchise. And I think there are other people you could choose, but Joe Johnston is by and large the best guy for the job.
That'd be cool.
So yeah.
So you're not cool with James Mangold doing it? Isn't that who's doing it right
now? I'm not crazy about it. I mean, like I could see him doing a decent job, but with Mangold, I feel like you're going to get more of a Western film, and that's not Indiana Jones. I'm also afraid that they want to go like the Logan route and just have like old man Indy, and that just sounds miserable. That's like I don't want Indiana Jones to be like on his deathbed and like, just grizzled and like depressed. Like that sounds horrible, and I think it completely it's a complete misinterpretation of the character. So no, I don't like that at all. But what do you guys have any picks for that or no?
I don't mind the James Mangold. Really, I like the Joe Johnston thing, and if I could pick, I would just want Spielberg to do it. But I hate to go back to this movie, but Gore Verbinski, I think he would make a really
Gore Verbinski
cool
would actually
Indiana
be really
Jones
good.
movie.
Yeah, after Pirates. Yeah,
I think it'd be pretty sweet. So I'd go with him probably.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. There we go. Yeah, that's fair enough, man. We got 3 more questions here. One from Zach. He says, "You guys are all trapped on an island together. Who gets eaten first?"
Probably me.
It's a good
It's
question.
not. This is going to sound really cocky, but it's not going to be me. I'm going to make sure it's not me. I'm going to make sure it's not me.
It's going to be me because y'all already have a friendship. Y'all are even hanging out, getting jellyfish together. Y'all are going to have a plan day one.
Getting jellyfish. Yeah, that's... I think I might have to go with Chris on this one, and not just because of that, but
yeah.
I honestly feel like we're best friends right now, but for some reason I'm leaning toward Chris too. I don't know why.
I know how it'll go down. It's like, we'll send him to get the coconuts, and when he comes back, we net him.
Yeah. There we go. Zach Marsh, thank you for joining, man. Great to see you in here. He says the super chat. He says, what movie do you wish someone would make a 20-year sequel to that hasn't had one yet?
Oh.
Great question.
It's pretty good.
I don't know if I have one off the top of my head.
So 20 years ago would be like 2000.
What'd you say?
Movies in the 90s then, right? Because that would be
yeah.
Or are we talking about movies today?
What movie do you wish someone would make a 20-year sequel to that hasn't had one? I guess movies that are like over that are 20 years or older, so it can be older than that. For me, it's simple. The Rocketeer. Joe Johnston again, but like that's a film that like that's in the same category as Tron, where it's just like grossly underappreciated with so much potential. I think you could do a really great sequel to The Rocketeer, so I'd love to see it.
If you got one, Tyler, because I'm looking for one.
I mean, like I want to go. It's not 20. Tron Legacy is 10 years, but 20. Yeah. I mean, super old. Like if we're going 90s, man. It's tough. I mean, there's so many good ones. I'm trying to think like what would make a good sequel.
A lot of them have gotten it, like Dumb and Dumber, or
yeah,
they didn't do a good job.
I know that was a good answer. Rocketeer, even 80. I don't know.
I guess I would eventually want Chronicle to be retouched upon, with a continuation story. Because I remember Josh Trank saying that they wanted to make a sequel, but it would just be a repeat of what the first movie did with a new cast.
Yeah. I get where that. Yeah, I don't know if they could do Chronicle again. I feel like that's like lightning in a bottle,
Probably.
John Carter eventually when that when that hits the 20-year mark. I actually really like John Carter.
You know which one? You know what I want actually? This is not the best answer, and we already technically got one, but I want another American Pie movie with the same cast because I love the American Reunion.
Every time they start talking American Pie, I was so happy with that newest one they made. Even if people don't love it, I liked it.
Oh, yeah. American Reunion?
Yeah, American Reunion.
That's my favorite. It's my favorite of the whole series. I love that movie, and I would love to see another one.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Last question of the day, and it's the one that's caused the most controversy in the chat. From Marshall Boy, he asks, which studio do you prefer, A24 or Blumhouse?
That's actually hard, man.
Who's going to take this one first? Who's going to take it?
Because I already know Griffin's answer. It goes back to his exquisite taste. But
to my yes, a little pretentious here. Yes, I get it.
No, you're not pretentious. Look, yes, I'll agree. A24 cranks out quality way more than Blumhouse. But if it comes down to I'm on an island and I can only pick the catalog of Blumhouse or A24, I'm probably going Blumhouse.
Yeah, I mean, what makes this hard for me, honestly, like no joke, is The Invisible Man, because that's to me one of the best thriller / horror movies.
And Whiplash.
I know, and Blumhouse did Whiplash too. But if I'm just judging off of what I get more excited for each year, it's A24 movies. So I have to pick A24 in this case, just because each year I'm always looking up like their entire catalog of what's going to come out that year and like which ones I think I'll like. So I have to go A24, but I love Blumhouse. So
yeah, I think for me it's definitely A24. I think when you and not just because I know what a surprise. It's not just because like I don't think they've made a bad movie. I think it just comes down to the fact that the highs in A24 are exceptional. The highs in Blumhouse obviously are very, very high as well. But like if you're gonna base it off of their highs, you got to base it off their lows too. And Blumhouse has made some stinkers. I mean, just like look at Fantasy Island, man. That is not a good
really
movie.
Bad. Yeah.
But I like Jason Blum's approach when it comes to producing. Just making reasonably sized budget films that like audiences are gonna dig and whatnot. So both studios are great. Sometimes A24 can be a little too highbrow for me, given the project. But I usually end up enjoying all of their movies. So
yeah,
and
this is weird. If I could work for anyone in Hollywood, it would be Jason Blum, because I love him so much. Yeah. Like he's like the best producer. Like he's just he's a genius. But I just think A24's movies are just a little bit better. And
I'll agree. Quality wise for sure.
Yeah.
And guys, that's going to do it. We've been going for almost 2 hours here, but you guys have been amazing. It really doesn't feel like it's been 2 hours. We've been having fun answering your questions, talking movies with you. And before we kind of close out and everyone says their goodbyes, I do want to say, if you enjoyed this video and you like the content here, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the FilmSpeak channel for more live streams such as this, more movie reviews, some video essays I got in the works. There's a lot of great stuff here. And if film is your second language, you're definitely going to want to stick around and talk movies with us. Thank you to my 2 panelists for coming on and just hanging out. It's been a lot of fun, especially Mr. 3C, Mr. Chris. We need to do this more, man. It's great. It's just great.
I know. Like as soon as I got the text, I double read. I was like, Griffin's inviting me to something. I had to, man. I looked at my dog. I'm sorry, we got to go early, but I got here, and thanks for inviting me. Really fun. Glad to finally meet you, Tyler. Like I said, I really respect what you do. And I'm hoping one day you come back. I know it's tough and it can be draining sometimes, man, but you have a real gift, just like Griffin here. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. No, you definitely, there was even people asking in here if you have a YouTube channel, and unfortunately you don't. Well, you do kind of, but
small videos.
Yeah. But anyways, Chris, where can everyone find you online?
You can find me at 3C Film Review on Twitter or at YouTube at youtube.com/3C Films. Just trying to scratch up as much movie news as I can.
There you go. Yeah, he's got some good, he's always like on the movie news as it comes out. So if you want updates on movie news, definitely go subscribe to his channel. He's great at it. Tyler, of course, thank you for joining me. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, and I appreciate the kind words, Chris. You're like really awesome too. I like this team. Right here, This trio. I could have gone another 2 hours. But you can find me on Letterboxd and where I log everything I watch, and then Twitter and Instagram on the social medias. On there.
Yeah, and if you're in Venice Beach, Tyler and I are going to be there watching a bunch of jellyfish at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, so, come see us.
Come see us.
6 feet apart. 6 feet apart.
6 feet apart. Listen, just don't even come see us. That's fine. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining in, for tuning in. It's been a real pleasure. We'll try and do more of these as it comes along. As always, guys, be sure to like FilmSpeak on Facebook, follow us on Twitter simply by searching FilmSpeak. And lastly, if you like me specifically and you like what I have to say, you can give me a follow on Twitter at Griff Schiller. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live Q&A. And until next time, take care.
Did you rub my lamp?
That was some generation.